We are live. Now, did you get bearish? Are you worried about the geopolitical situation? Let me ask you something. How many times have you worried about the geopolitical situation only to have it turn around and not be a problem in a week? I have a saying, you're never too late, you're never too early, you're right on time. In this case, I don't think it's ever been more true. More true. So, bearish, afraid, confused? Didn't we just have a huge conference? What happened? I thought it was going up forever. Well, guess what? It is. It is. And I got the news articles and I got the narrative and the charts to go, hey, maybe this is a bottom. One thing people don't understand about bull markets is it's not all a euphoric party. It isn't. And frequently, the market gives you these scare trades, and that's what you take advantage of. So if you want to hear about that, and if you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel and watch this show. Okay, let's welcome who's here. We have Willimeter with a super chat, and we appreciate you, sir. On time. You're never too late. You're never too early. You're right on time. Right? Smash Satoshi. The only smart move is not to play. Okay, well, if you're a leverage trader who likes to do 40x trades, I would agree. Stop it. Stop it. Add the leverage on the way up. We'll go over it. Bull Runner is here. Caroline Storyteller, a member. Bob, if you're out there, we're sending you love. Pancakes and peanut butter. Felix. Hal Lopez coming to us late night from Portugal. Super fan. Grandpa Keeter. Monday. Zen Trader. Nasher. Farmer Sam Forrest. Another loyal member. Welcome. Kamania. Huckleberry Native. More members. Welcome. Big Rich, the man. Tango FM. Philip. DJ Bart. What's up? Right? Big Rich. It's amazing. The Patriot Caveman and friends, they're so tight. They actually talk to each other in the chat, which you can also do in Patreon. Patreon Platinum exploding with the GAN model, a list of picks, price predictions for the future of Ripple. Customers running in, get in there and get some. And don't forget the YouTube member area, where we give you a lot of this information in podcast format, featuring me, Toby, and another persona also known as Girl Bill. Another hit show coming to a theater near you. Okay. Kamania says, we never left, sir. Right on. Don't leave. Everyone has left. I'm serious. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, we'll go over the AI stuff later. A slight digression on my standard speech, but the standard speech is worth listening to, and I'll tell you why. Don't go anywhere. Now, what is a price to earnings ratio in stocks? It means that a company is either so sexy or so not sexy that the number reflects what you are willing to pay for $1 of that company's earnings. All right. So for every $1 that Tesla earns, you are willing to pay $185 based on the current stock price. Wow. So they got the robot trade clearly reflected somewhat in that. And all the way down at the bottom of the list is, Google at $19 for every $1. That's kind of like where the S&P is. It's a little lofty, but of course not 185, right? S&P is at 27. So for every dollar that the S&P as a whole makes, equity markets people say, yeah, that's worth $27. And they say crypto is a scam. I mean, normally it should be about 12. Reflecting that $1 today could be $12 tomorrow. Not $1 today is $185 in the future. Tesla may be the exception because of the robot trade. But I think the robot trade's done in crypto. The robot trade is here. And of course, we'll go over the huge litany of grumpy old men trying to tell you everything but buy Bitcoin, everything but buy ETH, everything that all this pressure in legacy gets resolved in crypto. Meanwhile, the general public just can't get enough of whatever this is. And even if it makes a new high, crypto will go completely parabolic. If people want to buy this sludge worth like 17 trillion, crypto's going up. So whatever they decide to do over there, it works in our favor. 98% of companies reported earnings are 6% above where they were the prior year. And the thing that's interesting about this graph is it's kind of a nothing burger, which is funny because everyone thought it was the absolute end of the world a month ago. End of April, mid-April, it was the end of the world. And of course, in the YouTube member area, I told you with the Gann model, Toby told you with the Toby magic, it wasn't happening. It wasn't the end of the world. It was groupthink, and they're all absolutely wrong. Wrong. When everyone says the same thing, something else happens. Something else happens. The something else that happened was a big stock market rally followed by an even bigger crypto rally. Here it is. Oh my goodness. The Atlanta Federal Reserve just turned its forecast around, and it says second quarter gross domestic product will be up 4.6%. So we were going to have negative GDP for 3 quarters in a row, and now they're reporting we're going to be up 5%. Does anybody know what's going on in legacy? Does anybody know? The banks don't know. The sovereigns definitely don't know. What choice is there? What choice is there? Everyone's worried, ooh, AI is going to change the labor market. It's going to be the computer. It's going to be Skynet and robots. I do like to make those jokes. You know, come with me if you want to live. I do like that. Okay, but it's the people building it that you need to worry about, right? So you have the stock market legacy research complex. You have sovereigns, and then you have the guys that want to play God. Are any of them operating in your interest? No. And how many times am I going to say that? A lot. Because it's kind of like what Michael Saylor talks about, right? 21 ways to get wealthy. 21 ways to get wealthy begins by you realizing you have to take matters into your own hands. And frequently, they're cheapening up crypto because that's in their interest. And scooping it up at the hour of fear is in your interest. What is in your interest? Wait a second. Oh my goodness. Is this a Bitcoin yield curve? Is this a bond with Bitcoin backing? Huh. Russia's largest bank unveils Bitcoin-tied structured bonds. What do you know? Buy our bonds and get some Bitcoin. Who knew? And ironically, it's the Russians doing it, right? I don't know if you can quite call them bad guys and be neutral, but frequently a lot of innovations are picked up by bad guys. Plus, they've been backed into a corner with sanction after sanction after sanction. So guess what? They're innovating. You know why? Because they have to. I want you to innovate before you have to. That's what I want you to do. $250 billion manager Wells Fargo says Bitcoin is going to disrupt the bond market. Okay. Now, a couple things about this. One, we just showed you a Bitcoin-backed bond without the finance math. Two, government debt is a problem. It's a problem. And there's 2 things that can happen. 3 things. 1, the government debt can collapse. 2, the currencies of the big debtor nations can collapse. Or you can have Bitcoin mooning as the way the fiats collapse. This is what people are not following. In other words, everyone's like, whoa, I think the dollar is going massively lower, right? We are entering the final strategy of the financial game. Here is the horror nobody is ready to confront. There isn't enough collateral left. This is true. You want to borrow against something? You're going to borrow against treasuries? Maybe. Or are you going to borrow against Bitcoin? You got to borrow against something that is immune to problems in the currency market. And the latest Wall Street trend is to say the dollar is going lower. Dollar's down 7% for the year. It should be 70. It should be 70. So they're hopping on this trade because they just got like, okay, well, we just screwed up the recession trade. Now we're going to go get on this. Right now they're all going to get on the dollar. US dollar going down more, says Bank of America. This should have been what they were talking about from the beginning. And I am very proud to say that that is what I was talking about. And the only way the dollar is really going to go lower is to have massively higher Bitcoin. Now, that will be a scary world, and they don't tell you this, right? You know, recessions, okay, they're scary, all right? Dollar declines, currency moves, particularly if they get disorderly. Now, of course, we would love a disorderly up move in legacy foreign exchange because that means crypto moons and gold moons. Hard. People are not focusing on this. People are like, well, you know, I'm 40x levered with a liquidation of $104,112.62. This is what we're focusing on. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Just in, Jerome Powell says this is the end of the Breton-Woods era, fundamentally changing monetary policy. He wants the dollar lower. Lower. Like they had a meeting between him and the orange man. What did they discuss? Gee, Mr. President, you really hurt my feelings by saying I was an idiot. I've been an economist for, I don't know, however many years. And even though I'm working for the deep state, it's not very nice to make fun of me. You're right, Jerome. I'm sorry. Let's hug. No, that's not what they talked about. The orange man said, we need the currency lower. Lower. We must have it or I won't stop being a madman with the tariffs. Can you please get the dollar lower? He goes, okay, Mr. President, please stop calling me an idiot on Twitter. I'll get the dollar lower. Does that work for you? The president says, it absolutely does, sir. Have a good afternoon. Best to your family. That sounds like the deal that got made. Get the dollar lower and print if you have to. Print. Recession odds, 30%. Was 70. Be careful of groupthink. Oh, by the way, meanwhile, back at the Treasury Ranch, they're out of cash. X date, July 30th. Right? They got to spin it up now. That's why money supply is increasing. Because when they have to issue government debt to replenish the Treasury, there's no buyer for that debt. Now, JPMorgan thinks that that's going to result in some kind of cataclysm. That may be true, but that's old thinking. You have to there's a guy who says a good phrase. You have to unlearn it. I didn't unlearn it. I just decided that even though I have like kind of like the Love Boat, older guy retirement shirt on, even though I'm not retired, I said, you know what? I'm going to act like an 18-year-old. I'm going to act like one, even if I can't dress like one, although that might be a funny show. Submit your ideas in the comments below on how I would dress like I was 18. Now, of course, to create the fear necessary to give you, I don't know, potentially a life-changing entry point in this stuff, somehow the Ukrainians had truckloads of drones that the Russian intelligence service didn't see. And they created giant smoke clouds everywhere in Russia, making it look literally like some kind of Pearl Harbor event where, you know, big ships and big planes and big trains are all burning. Now, obviously, this is unfortunate because this is people, their families, you know, and naturally there's like, you know, there's nuclear risk involved. But nuclear risk has always been bullish because if there really was an issue, he would have hit the button already. And they're supposedly at the table. So I hit you, you hit me, maybe I hit you one more time. At the end of the day, if they don't do this, it's in no one's interest. Now, That doesn't mean they have to get along. It doesn't mean communists are going to take people getting hurt inside their country lying down. It doesn't. One other thing I was guessing is whatever they do, like the next strike is the last strike. Even if, this one might have been, but the next strike could be the last one. It actually has to, it's like it's darkest before dawn. I'm not selling crypto on geopolitical stuff. If you sold crypto on geopolitical stuff, you sold all your Bitcoin like Germany did at 54K. It's insane. It's insane because it's not in your interest. Fear is in their interest, not yours. Not yours. Okay, so everyone dumping Bitcoin. Oh my God, Bitcoin's going to fall out of bed. We went from the conference to Bitcoin falling out of bed because of a geopolitical situation. Insane. If anything, the tensions, the sanctions, all point towards the crypto ecosystem. They're going to innovate. We're going to innovate. AI agents will innovate. Somebody is going to innovate. The incentive to innovate through crypto is huge. Huge. And again, sadly, retail has left the building. Retail has just left. Now, more sovereigns do not have your interest at heart. The United Kingdom wants to go to war footing over this. Like the defense companies, the deep state, a guy called Eisenhower in the United States called it the military-industrial complex. These people cannot run your life. You can watch alternative TV shows. There's a guy named Alex. There's a guy named Nick. That's on the right. And then you can watch, you can listen to AOC on the left, right? Again, are any of them right? And are any of them telling you what you need to do now to be free from this when it reaches its logical conclusion, which is they think their money is their money and your money is their money? It's probably something you did not hear at Bitcoin Vegas, which is somewhat disappointing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure that was an incredible party. Crypto parties are the best parties because you feel happy, you feel free. But then you come home and you open the newspaper and you see this, right? This makes the chart look better to me. Elon says he's disappointed in Uncle Sugar's new bill. Gold late longs now panicking in. And here's a simple question. Do you want to be that person in crypto at 120 going, well, I guess I have to add it to my portfolio now? No. I guess I should find an AI agent coin. Gee, I should have bought Ethereum at 1900 or 2500. Ethereum at 2500 is a joke. So is Solana at 175 or 150. Was it 150? Please. Ridiculous. Should have a zero at the end of it. Seriously. It's going to be the stablecoin highway. Like MasterCard and Visa card. MasterCard and Visa. $150. Tether with a gold-backed stablecoin. Folks, let me tell you something. When you use a gold-backed stablecoin, most likely you're going to have to pay a fee. So, you'll get $1 worth of stablecoins and they'll give you like 99.5 cents. So if people want gold-backed stablecoins, they should want Bitcoin, Ethereum, privacy coins, AI, something that benefits from AI agents, robots. I mean, if we're willing to pay a fee for $1, we should be buying everything. And when it's down, we should just be like, oh, thank God, it's down 4%. Solana was down 4%. Off this geopolitical thing, whatever. I mean, that's literally what you have to say, right? Big Rich says, I need some of those virtual coins that T-Bone is making money on. Let me see if I can, if I have the skill to skip to an AI slide. Here we go. AI can cause unemployment to go to 20% in 5 years. Meanwhile, some guy with a 9-to-5 job, also known as T-Bone, a loyal reader, has figured out how to get himself on virtuals, get enough points, so they are just airdropping him all this cool stuff. And what do I always say? What goes up? What you don't understand, what's hard to buy, or everyone hates. I don't think everyone hates virtuals, but I don't think they fully understand it. And, you have to have enough virtuals points, and you have to know how to do that. Well, T-Bone knows how to do it. So what can we focus on? T-Bone getting out of his 9-to-5 job using AI agents, or we can focus on this, which is going to be a labor market disruption, which is going to happen, but that's not what you focus on. It's not. It's not. It's like part self-help lecture, part crypto. Now, let's take a brief moment to review what is actually happening in the world. Do you realize that Bitcoin, for all the hype in Vegas, is only up 12% for the year? Gold is up 25% for the year. Silver going into today is up more than Bitcoin for the year. This dollar devaluation has only started. Like, we're doing it via gold and silver. It's like, you ever seen like power walkers, like 7-year-old people getting that power walk going with their special shoes. Yeah, man, they got it going on. They're moving. Yeah, okay. But meanwhile, in the back, you got Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market stretching out like Olympic sprinters ready to just take off. Okay. QQQ is still positive for the year. QQQ is going to zero. Can you imagine if this AI trade actually spreads out into equities again and that stuff makes a new high? I mean, I think it's in a range, but like I said, it's still up for the year. It's still up for the year. And if NASDAQ is up for the year, Bitcoin should be up 40%. Should be up 40, 50%. And that speaks nothing about the rest of the market. Equities are up 2%, and Ethereum not too long ago was back at 1,400. Oh my God, Grandpa Keeter with the monster super chat. $50 super chat from a guy who's already paying us. Big Toby Ward fan, by the way. Big fan. Grandpa Keeter. You have no idea how much it means. You have to be wildly optimistic to believe corporate profits as a percentage of what we make can stay above 6, says Warren Buffett. Currently, it's at 12. Okay. It's at 12. So, yes, equities are rather lofty, but if they hold or stay in a range, Bitcoin and other cryptos can get rather lofty. And this guy is sitting on a lot of dollars, losing value every day. Looks like a genius at the bottom. He won't look like a genius if stocks make a new high. A lot of these guys got out, and a lot of these guys thought they were geniuses. A lot of guys on Sunday talk shows talking about the end of the world. Meanwhile, money supply in the United States, all-time high, just spooling it up. There's no liquidity in the government bond market. They got to put the liquidity in the system if they aren't the liquidity or the buyers themselves. Now, once again, Wall Street, in an attempt to be a contrarian with everyone at the Bitcoin conference, Jamie Dimon makes a move that will undoubtedly make him cool at Wall Street by saying, you know what, we should be preparing for something bad, which is never a bad idea. I'm from Texas. You should be ready. You get it. Okay, but we shouldn't be stockpiling we shouldn't be stockpiling Bitcoin because something's going to happen in the government debt market, and JPMorgan is positioned to make tons of money. If the government debt market falls apart, it's Jamie's version of the Big Short. I understand that. A lot of people want to do that trade. They're all very smart. They didn't get where they were because they were stupid. However, you got to think like an 18-year-old because 18-year-olds aren't burdened by the scars of the past. Now, God knows I have enough battle marks. I definitely need a new helmet because mine's got a few dents in it. I'm not doing this, though. You want to watch a YouTube show where I go, well, the government bond market's going to blow up and you should go out and buy beer, bait, and ammo. First of all, no one wants to watch that. Second of all, it's wrong. I think one of the best things that this guy, like, it's just an example of another extreme example of a guy wanting to do something different. Like Alex Jones used the supplement line to get in shape and is now selling the idea that he's going to be the leader of the resistance when they send the robots to come get us. That, to me, makes more sense as a future danger than a problem with our bond market. Honestly, because Powell and Bessent and no central banker can let that happen. That's what Jamie doesn't understand. Now, even if Jamie is right, there is a real problem with the government bond markets. Bitcoin's at 250,000. And probably the whole crypto market goes with it. Because people already know they need a new form of money. They're really going to know it if this prophecy is on the front page of the newspaper. Average 30-year mortgage rates in the United States, 1980, 12.7. 1990, 8.1. Okay. Today's rate, 6.8. So you did have a Brandon. What's going on? Daniel, Charlie the Positive Cat from the Antivirus Samurai. Welcome, gentlemen. This doesn't look like the apocalypse to me. I mean, it's high. It's high. And no one's going to buy a house at these rates, but it's not Jamie Dimon's end of the world. It's not. Matter of fact, it's Jamie Dimon's end of the world because you have a complete lost generation. Gen Z is calling themselves stay-at-home sons because they can't afford anything. Open the meme coin casino and get these kids involved. Get involved. Moonpig, Ski Mask Dog, Antivirus, pick one. Pick something. Seriously. Okay, 5 years from now. Well, you know what? I picked something and some of it was wrong and some of it was right. Or you could say I sat around and did nothing at the revolution. Bitcoin 2013 all over again in altcoins, I did nothing. You don't want to say that to yourself. Now, why is the market down? The eternal question. This is why it's down. Okay, so Communist Business Network says Saylor's Bitcoin strategy is exploding. Watch out. Okay, I know Wall Street's skeptical. Be careful of hyperbole around conferences. Careful of that. That's why the market falls. This and this guy that keeps putting this thing out there, I don't know who's paying him to do that. It feels like a psyop. Like, oh, my liquidation point is at 104.1. The low for the day in Bitcoin is 103.9 and you're liquidated. Crazy. That's not what they have you focused on, that and not what you should be doing. Now, speaking of a guy who's focused on what he should be doing, Mike's like, oh, okay, well, I loved it at 111. So at 106, I'll take 775 million. Okay. $365 million raised through special preferred stock instruments. Permanent leverage, zero refinancing risk. Wall Street loves issuing them. And Mike is like, he has conviction. What does this mean? That means Michael Saylor has extreme conviction. Speaking of extreme conviction, not. Retail has left. Communist Business Network is right about this. People have just, they are done. Done. Right? Because it's not 2021. Okay, I understand. People are frustrated. They want gratification. There's a lot of risk in crypto. You buy something, it goes down 60%. You're expecting some sort of upside to put up and tolerate these kind of swings. So I get it. I get all the reasons to get out. So there's all the reasons to get out. There's all the fear why you shouldn't get in. There's the grumpy old man crowd scaring you out of every capital market. None of which you should listen to. None. Right? Because they're just wrong. And they've been wrong for a long time. More hyperbole. The keynote presentation by Saylor will be relevant for the next 1,000 years. Okay, good tweet. Good for engagement. You have no idea what the world looks like in 1,000 years. I don't care what it looks like in 1,000 years. I don't care what Bitcoin's at 13 million. Bitcoin's at 13 million. Either you're a robot, you could be a robot, or it's Mad Max and there's no cell phone devices to transmit the Bitcoin on. All right. I got a great idea. Why don't we focus on like 120, 140, 180? Matter of fact, Mike, one of the first people to mention it. Meanwhile, back at the Ethereum ranch, some whale is accumulating massively. I had a slide in here about BlackRock exchanging Bitcoin for ETH because I think demand for that ETF is starting to flood in. Vitalik finally figured out, hey, let's do a talk and change the narrative that I can make Ethereum 10 times faster. Hey now, a narrative switch. Thank goodness. So much better than, yeah, why don't we dump it on you at 3,000 before it goes to 1,500? That was the old narrative. Now we have a narrative. Now we have a bid coming from stocks. Yeah, for every dollar Tesla earns, you're paying $185 when you buy the stock at this price. Okay, I know, robots. Okay, fine. But, you know, Ethereum or Silicon Valley? 21 Capital just bought 7,000 Bitcoin. They just won't stop. Now, Michael Saylor says, if you knew what I knew, what does he know? That sovereigns are going to have to buy it. They have to buy it. He's been told by the Orange Man's kids. Big Rich with the huge super chat. Yes, I can check Jupiter and Zeta. Okay, so like a lot of coins, I think it's worth noting that on an 89-minute chart with LuxAlgo, which I don't do very often, this thing hit its discount zone. They did a false breakout through the bottom of a pennant. And I think Jupiter should be at 58 cents, and it really should be at 65. Okay, you look at Jupiter on a 4-hour chart. I was looking for a 13 bottom at 48 cents. So was the whole world. So was the whole world. Everyone was like, well, you know, this is what people do when it's down. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll buy it later. I'll do it later. Jupiter puts a topping signal in, goes down 3 days, right into support near 49 cents. I mean, why does anyone want to sell this when this is clearly an accumulation cone? By the way, this is one of the coins in the Solana 7, which is available both in the YouTube member area and in the Patreon store. Part of the value proposition of the Patreon Platinum membership is that you don't have to buy every report all at once. You just get it for one price every month. Okay? This is an accumulation cone. Just as sure as God made little apples. What's an accumulation cone? This is an accumulation cone. You'd be amazed. And one of the reasons why I make a living is because a lot of stuff that's old still works in crypto. And amazingly, crypto, even though there's probably, you know, a lot more algo manipulation in the bigger coins, it still has kind of a natural rhythm to it. This is from Jesse Livermore's chart book from back in the day, early 20th century. Bounce, 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 bounce in an upward sloping fashion. Boom. Parabolic. Monster parabolic, in fact. Monster. Bitcoin 200K, obvious breakout. GameStop, etc. Okay. You got to be careful when stuff is obvious. It is obvious, but not when the media writes it. Okay. But I do like the general idea. Yesterday, BlackRock sold 4,100 Bitcoin, and I got to put you on hold. No caffeine before the stream ever again. Welcome back after that brief commercial interruption. Thank you for your patience. On July 1, it looks like Australia will pass the first tax on unrealized capital gains. That means your money, their money is their money, and your money is their money. And this includes Bitcoin. Are they ever going to stop it? They won't stop it with this. They won't stop it in Ukraine. They won't stop what they're doing. They won't stop. Just because the orange man is in office doesn't mean they're not coming after you. Now, I know that's a little dark, but it's not intended to be dark. It's intended to be motivating. It's like, okay, there's this thing out there. Great. Now, how can I be like T-Bone and make money in virtuals or in something else? Because it's definitely out there. Okay, the PSYOP, James Nguyen, he was liquidated and retired. Now he's back in at 40x leverage. Whoops. And I'm not sure if he got liquidated again or not. This is not the way to do this. It just isn't. Now is a bad time to take paper bets on BTC. It's open season on liquidation hunts due to the high level of betting. This is another thing about bull markets that I know people hate. Like, oh, yeah, it's a bull market. All right. Yeah, it's a bull market and everyone knows it. So when everyone knows it, everyone makes leverage bets, and then people make a living washing and blowing those people out. Exchanges make money on this. Everybody makes money on these leverage blowouts, except little people following the big people. Don't do it, right? In other words, if you were doing, and again, T-Bone, all these guys that are like super chatting, you know, they're making money. Oh my God. Morpheus. I know a guy who loved this from Go. I can't wait to see. Oh, look at this. Oh my God. See what I'm talking about? 20 million market cap on this. This is another destroyed AI coin. This could be one of the top plays. I don't talk about this enough. I'm glad someone brought this up. Again, the benefit of the show and the benefit of the Patreon, because all these guys who are in here super chatting are all working together and they help me. I help them and they help me. Otherwise known in crypto as a community, which is a wildly overused word. My community has a value add to it, in my opinion. It's not my community. It's our community, the Spartans from Patreon. Right? The Spartans in Patreon, the antivirus samurai, and the Toby ninjas. We got all your sword play covered. Who really controls Bitcoin price in 2025? Whales, devs, governments explained. Okay, a word on this. Big players moving positions around to liquidate small players, frustrate you, get you out is the oldest trick in the book. It's not new. It's not manipulation. It's not illegal. It's not any of those things. Okay? Not any of those things. It is the oldest trick in the book, and you can't fall for it. Luckily for you, your resident YouTuber and crypto analyst happens to be around. I actually saw this stuff in person. I watched it happen. I watched some guy sell 1,000 at the market, wipe out all the stops, and then just come in and buy 2,000. I saw it every day. Some days bigger than others. Solana reverses gains after failed rally. Yeah, right into the discount zone. Right into the discount zone, admittedly on a short-term chart. Okay, yeah, I know. It's a short-term chart. But, you know, the thing that's interesting about Solana is, and one of the things you have to do when you do technical analysis is use your imagination, right? Okay, so today it's down. Like, you know, when we're putting the thumbnail together for this thing, I'm like, oh, yuck. And that's what I decided to go. You're not too late. You're not too early. You're right on time. Because guess what? If Solana holds at the discount zone, You have an inverted head and shoulders bottom. And, you know, when you have this shoulder, it's always nasty. Because remember, what is a head and shoulders bottom? It's 3 attempts by bears to crush it, right? I take it down. Look at this, straight down. Down. Oh, okay. Bounce back. Okay. Now, down. New low. Okay. Oh, you're going to bounce it on me. Okay. This time, I'm going to destroy you. I'm done with you. Boom. Geopolitical event. Everyone so. And guess what? Oh, oops. I shorted too many. Oops. We got everyone out. Oops. I didn't get any follow through. Oops. The bulls mean business. Boom. And it could be this. Right? Classic bottom. Fear. Aggressive bears. Classic. Yes, Big Rich noting that not only do we do crypto here, but we also have fun. So we have like the more serious. Somebody said I was a serious macro guy. That's true. He also said I was an entertaining macro guy. Hopefully that's true. But we have more forms of entertainment with more information that you could possibly shake a stick at. So please come check us out. Now, back at the stablecoin ranch, wait a minute. Didn't Ripple offer Circle $5 billion? Huh. Yeah. So I think they were going to IPO at $5 billion valuation, the stablecoin company Circle. Then Ripple offered them $6 billion. They said no. Now they say it's at $7 billion. How about $19 billion? That was the Instagram price. If Instagram's worth $19 billion, Circle's worth $19 billion. And then once that happens, someone's gonna take over Ripple. Whoever misses Circle is gonna get Ripple. If you want to know more about that, you should check the Patreon Platinum area to see the GAN work around XRP and XRP price predictions. I realize that's perfect for YouTube, and that's why I said, you know what, this is so good, I'm putting it in there. Because this is the creeping bid that people aren't seeing. The creeping bid is for the companies. First, it'll be stable coins. Then it'll be the Bitcoin miners. Then it will be the exchanges. And you know what? I did see an article the other day that said, you know what? If we're going to build DeFi, it's going to have to be the banks. Sad, but true, right? In other words, I don't think Joe Public is going to go into Aave and that's going to be PvP, player versus player. Versus if there's yield to be made in DeFi, the banks or whoever, or custody companies are going to take your crypto and say, you know, we'll go find you yield on it. Supposedly every booth at Bitcoin, that's what it was about. Overwhelmingly reject proposal considering Bitcoin treasury strategy. Okay. Probably because they want stable coins or XRP. Has anyone thought of that? I don't think so. No one's thought of that. For every company that rejects Bitcoin, they may wind up having to embrace XRP, particularly if they're a tech company and need something fast. Crypto treasury strategy, Hong Kong. I thought the Chinese were outlining it. 1 minute they're outlawing it. The next minute, everybody in Hong Kong is pouring in. I wish they would get this story straight. I think they're scared of a currency problem over there too. I would be. Now we're looking at 100K. As monthly close seals 11% gain. Everybody wants a dip bigger than the existing dip. Everyone looks at the existing dip and goes, well, this is too scary. I'll buy it when it gets to a convenient price for me. It's never tidy and it's never convenient. Never. Okay, let's go to TA. I kind of teased it all already. Okay, here's Bitcoin on an 89-minute chart. And really, Bitcoin, there's so many people that are constructive. The only thing Bitcoin can do is wash people out, which is exactly what they do when they take out the bottom of these LuxAlgo formations. Bitcoin's never really been able to get to its discount zone, save for this move at the end of the month. So think about it. There's a geopolitical freakout trade and Bitcoin can't make a new low. Can't make a new low. Okay, I'm not getting the love on the ETH chart that I would like to get, but you had 3 trips to the discount zone. How many times do they have to go down there? Like there's still no belief in this. There's still no belief. And what people don't get is when you believe in altcoins, when you believe in ETH, you believe in altcoins. It's as simple as that. It really is. Amazing inflection point in XRP tactically, right? So you have this big triangle, big on little chart terms. At the critical moment, they break out of the bottom, but then right at the apex, they turn it around. This could be extremely bullish, by the way. I've seen this before. Like take out the bottom of the LuxAlgo formation and then boom, take it up. LuxAlgo is probably getting popular these days because I can see the algos, running stops, getting everyone out, and then taking it back up. There's nothing more bullish when you get these like these reclaims. The dollar. Wow, this is trading well. You guys, I know you're tired of my quarterly chart. All right. It is at the discount zone on a daily basis, but it can't rally. It can't rally. And if it can't rally, that means gold's not going to stop going down. Again, another accumulation cone, a giant one, in fact. Right? I mean, look at this. Tell me that this, right? Doesn't look like this. It's the one chart market update. And I mean, again, when it comes to the macro stuff, silver, woo, baby. See what they can do here at its premium zone. I forgot about Zeta. Shame on me. Getting too hyped up about all this bullish crypto macro stuff. Zetachain. Anything sitting on its discount zone or at the bottom of a pennant sure looks interesting to me. Sure looks interesting to me. Right? Mr. Q, I'm a bit behind. No, you're not, sir. You are right on time. Mr. Q, Jerome Powell was never an economist. He was a lawyer. Lawyers making economic decisions, man. I don't know. I do know about Zeta that, you want to jump. I mean, there's so many of them. We have like 5 or 6 of these things inside either the member area or platinum or both. It's like, hey, find me an AI play. And if you got money, find me 6 of them, right? 2 Solana in each of them, not investment advice. Let's go. Let's make money. Okay. Let's make money. Yeah. Grandpa Keeter, Wyckoff, accumulation phase. Okay. Wyckoff also has his own accumulation formation. I actually used it. I used it in 2019 to find the bottom. Actually worked real well. Whoops. Okay. No, that's GMT, not GMT. Okay. So the graph. By the way, the likes have been getting better. I appreciate you guys. Keep hitting that like button. We want to get to 200. That's the dream. Okay. So I'll just make sure I got the right thing here. Okay. So this is the graph. Again, an AI play, a multi-coin capital play. People just refuse to believe in the tech part of crypto. There's 3 parts of crypto: the money part of crypto, the AI part of crypto, and the meme part of crypto. I don't understand why we can have Bitcoin euphoria, but AI despair. Bitcoin euphoria, but no one wants to touch memes. It's unbelievable. We were going to have meme ETFs and a meme coin super cycle, and no one will touch it now. No one will touch it. Like, where's Moonpig? it doesn't have to be this, but at least it's new. Like, part of the theme in the YouTube member area is we want new. Finding the new is the process. This stuff has been left for, it's been left for dead. The whole market is. Like, you're like, Bill, didn't I just ask for a chart of the graph? I'm like, yes, you did. What's the difference between graph and Moonpig? There isn't any. No one believes in either one. That's the common denominator. No one believes in either one. You know, SONIC DeFi, formerly Phantom. No interest, none. And again, what happens when that changes? And I do want to go over back to the Bitcoin stocks. MicroStrategy, there's a big fat gap up here around 400. Watch out. Watch out. Where's Riot? I have HUT. Getting kind of into 4-hour charts these days. We know what this is, right? I don't have to say it. LuxAlgo draws these things and you wouldn't even know to look at them. You got to use your imagination. In research, you get paid for imagination. And if you really want to have a funny, let's have a funny. Now, I got to ask you a question. This is Nvidia. I'm kind of an Nvidia hater in a way because I'm so jelly. But when you think about this just for a second, right? So this was obviously froth up here. Whoops. And this was obviously despair down here. Or you could even do it this way. That's better. Despair, euphoria, euphoria, despair. Now, let me ask you something. Objectively speaking, there's a lot of resistance. It's not my favorite thing, but aside from these spikes, it's square. What happens if this junk takes off? What happens if they want this stuff? So if you have an AI trade take off in stonks, theoretically, if you have an AI trade take off in stonks, what happens to the AI trade in crypto? Think about it, right? Now, this may be a range. You go up, you go down. Okay, that's my base case. I have not discussed what happens if you actually get better price action in stonks. Because after all, they're hot to trot to get after Tesla. You're paying $185 for $1 of earnings in Tesla, which is why this stock could not tolerate the shenanigans in Washington because it's a very expensive stock. It was a very expensive stock at 500. He went to Washington and went to 280. Now it's back at 360. $185 for $1 of earnings. And we're saying that crypto is too expensive or crypto isn't worth buying. I mean, who had the Morpheus chart? Holy cow. Holy cow, man. There is a whole trade in the decentralized universe, and I have no idea how you're going to have AI without blockchain. For example, that news that came out of Eastern Europe, the first thing that Toby said to me was, how do we know that that was actually real? How do we know? I mean, is there a CNN correspondent on the ground with a microphone with all the boom, boom, boom in the background? I mean, I'm just saying. How do you know in this world what's real? I'm real. I'm still here. I'm not a machine yet. Even if they do make me a machine, they won't be able to replicate me and Toby and the Eagle King, right? They can try. But how do you know it's real? You don't. You just don't. So again, everyone's like, well, the problem is, no, there isn't a problem. The problem is in your head. It's in your head, right? You know, in Fetch, it would be really funny, even though it's not super attractive, but you know, this handle could be annoying, and who knows, maybe it's annoying for another 10 days. Maybe it's another 10 days. Okay, whatever. Where has this thing been historically? AI is the future. AI will disrupt the labor market. Everything is AI. Buy my AI course for $49.99 or $499. It's just sitting here doing absolutely nothing, like it doesn't exist. Everyone's like, it's a bull market. I was like, well, this is the lowest participation bull market I've ever seen. Or you could call it what it is and say it's like a mini winter. You know, you go up, you have winter. You go up, you have winter. You go up, you have winter until no one wants to play anymore. That's okay, until it's the Spartans and the samurai and the ninjas on the stream. And that's okay. It's okay because they're in, and I know they're tucked in, snug as a bug in a rug for when this happens. Because when it happens, it's going to be huge. It's happening right now in gold and silver. I got sidetracked. Don't get in the way of that stuff. Don't. Okay, real world assets. Got a problem with the government bond market? Look at Aave. A lot of squiggles on my Aave chart. Got LuxAlgo putting support underneath the recent rally, hitting the bottom, and boom. Current price, 260. Premium zone, 408. You got a lot of room in DeFi. You got a lot of room in ETH. No one wants to talk about it. Notice how many headlines. Notice how much time. Oh, my God. Jamie Dimon. Blah, 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 blah. Aave at 260 is well supported, and the next upside target is 408, and that's the market update. I'm serious. Why would you fade this? Why would anybody fade it? I'm not fading it. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh. Okay, so memes. Pepe trapped between support and resistance. Why do I care about Pepe? Because it's leveraged ETH. So whichever way, you know, maybe it stays in here. But whichever way this breaks out, you know, you could get this or you could get this. Can't wait to find out. Let's look at Render, because I know we got the super chatters out there. And I know what they want. Okay, so again, LuxAlgo not very happy with the recent decline, to be honest. And I'm going to tell you something. Going to be straight. The more negative it is, the more bullish it is when it turns around. And you know what? That's worked. Buy support, let it go up to resistance, sit there, get some resistance. ETH. Okay. Just be mindful. ETH in a box. Square ranges are bullish. And the premium zone in ETH is at 4,037. I'm sorry, 4,073. BlackRock's buying it, but we're not interested. No one's interested. BlackRock is interested, but no one else is. Right? Everyone's at the Bitcoin conference, which was cool, and I wanted you to go. But I also said that that was going to be a trigger for altcoins, and I still think I'm right about that. I still think I'm right. Now, you're like, well, Bill, you're crazy. I'm like, okay, maybe. This is the pound, the Great British Pound. The guys who put you in jail on Facebook and want to fight the Russians after them being enemies for 80 years. But let's get involved now. Let's get something started right now. This is mooning. Selling dollars, buying sterling. Sterling's a famous currency, but they can't stop buying it. You want to be honest with you? This is a blank coin. This is the blank coin of foreign exchange. They're devaluing the dollar. Now, this is the dollar versus the Swiss franc. So I know this is a little confusing on how Legacy does this, but this is my favorite European currency, the Swiss franc. Dollar down, Swiss franc up, and absolutely no bid for dollar Schweiz. No bid, right? Dollar down, Swiss franc up. Dollar down, bounce, run stops, down. No bid. No bid. And then we're supposed to believe, oh God, Bitcoin's down. Oh God, Solana's down. Oh my God, let's all freak out. No. Okay, so what is the usual speech? The usual speech is, don't be 40x long. Don't get bearish. The more homework you do now, the more your kids will think you're a legend later. All is not lost for Gen Z. Matter of fact, if the media says it's lost, you just figure out what the media is saying and do the opposite. If everyone thinks the same thing, something else happens. If everyone is leaving crypto, you should run into crypto. And you're never too late. You're never too early. You're right on time. On behalf of Toby and the Eagle King, we will see you tomorrow.